The way you dress, I'm so impressed, Your Highness. I see you through my mirror, just like Cinderella, under one umbrella. Two of us will be together forever and ever. We share same things in common. We born the same day, we from the same place. We share same races. Praise God for working miracles. I've seen my dream girl. Dream girl, come into my life and change my whole world. Dream girl, come into my life and change my whole world now. I never thought of getting married, and never thought of making family. Cause I'm a playboy, a hustler, a real boy. My life has made a change. Eventually, I met this woman. Dream changed to reality. I feel like getting married. I feel like having family. Solemnly, I swear, you the woman that took my misery. When I fell asleep, I've been looking for you since creation. Dream girl, come into my life and change my whole world. Dream girl, come into my life and change my whole world now. That's your kind of girl to me. You're the only one I choose. Dream girl, among the trillions of.
I'm very sorry for coming a bit late here, Vex Healing.
Mama,
3 minutes past 8 o'clock in Liberia.
mama,
And of course, it's great to have all of you on the show here, Vex Healing.
I need my
My name is Junior Payne, your regular host of the Heat Tower program here on BKS TV.
own girl.
On the Heat Tower, we see dialogue and our confrontation
My truck,
with the words and not bullet.
my darling,
And of course, in tonight's edition of the show, we hosted someone very special.
my sweet,
Some of all of you know.
come on, mama,
Some of you may refer to as the VAR,
mama,
the current VAR of Liberia.
I need
Councillor Moriah Yakula,
my own
our guest here tonight on the show.
girl.
We'll be discussing policy issue in Liberia,
Serena,
and not politics,
Katrina,
more of policy.
Paulina,
And so if you've been following Councillor Moriah Yakula over the years,
and Hannah,
or maybe for 1 or 2 days,
mama,
you get to realize that Councillor Moriah Yakula disagreed on policy issue,
mama,
but not politics.
I need my own girl. There is
So whether you are in position or opposition,
Elisha,
Councillor Moriah Yakula will disagree with you once
Melissa,
your policy is not good for the Liberia.
and Tita, mama,
And so Voice of BKS in Mutu Nima County is relaying the show on the 7.9. The Voice of Tapeta is also relaying the show here to this evening.
I need my own
I
girl.
want to say a big cups to all of you and a warm welcome here this evening.
Dream girl, come into my life and change my whole
I've been a big fan of Councillor Moriah Yakula.
world.
We're a big fan for the past 5 years now.
My dream girl, my only
I can still remember the first time I sent her a message.
dream girl. Dream
And the CEO told me that we are hosting Councillor Moriah. I tried going through the messages.
girl,
Man, I wrote blunt up, man.
come into my life and
So bullshit I wrote to Councillor Moriah Yakula.
change my whole world. Welcome to my world.
Where they're not supposed to be, I put there. Where is not supposed to be, I put is there. Where I'm supposed to put I put I.
Dream
Write a message and then I mean delete it in here quick.
girl,
I don't want to be caught in the crossfire here. So.
come into my life and change my whole world.
And so that's it. In the next 5 minutes, we bring Councillor Moriah Yakula on the show. And like I've said, we'll be discussing policy issue across Liberia. And the CEO is here. CEO, what's
Okay.
up? Good evening. How you
Well,
doing?
then the council got under 1 hour, and you team it late and all that one there. So, the 1 hour I've been the money, or you cost a lot of time here. So, we're going 6 minutes. So, we got just short time. But It's great to have you on here. You know, I was listening to you talking about the message you sent to her before. You know,
Yeah.
ironically, the good thing is she's coming on the show the day you defended your dissertation today and you completed a long
Yeah.
study. So I know she's going to be proud of you. But without further ado, I think we should bring her on. You know, she doesn't have enough time. She just gave us 1 hour to test us. And we're correct, then she will come back. But we're not correct, then she will not come back. So,
Well, indeed, it's a great thing to have the council here this evening. I don't know whether I should be excited to host the show. I don't know the feeling I'm having today. You know, I mean, defending your dissertation, LLB dissertation, getting admission to LLM, and then having Councilor Moriah pull on the show. Council, good evening and
perfect.
welcome to VKS TV. How you doing?
Thank you, gentlemen, and congratulations. It's quite an amazing feat, you know.
Can I say I've had a crush on you for the past 5 years? Am I safe to say that?
I would say admiration. I wouldn't
Admiration.
use the
Okay,
word.
so let's say I've had an admiration for you for the past 5 years.
Thank you.
No, I've had a crush on you for the past 5 years. Let's
You know, Counselor, you remember
You know,
there was this
my hearing is hearing it as admiration. So
admiration.
yeah,
thank
so
you.
You know,
How can I?
it reminds me of this young kid that wrote a letter to the youth and sport minister. I don't know if you saw that. It was on social media where he wrote something really long admiring the minister, and then I think the minister had to call him out, and they went out for lunch or something like that. So that's how this. But
No,
yeah,
I didn't follow that.
Gina has been admiring for a very long time. He talked a lot of, you know,
Brilliant.
he's in the
Thank
legal
you.
this legal field. Every time he talks about you, I say, you know, I will do my best. I will try everything that I can. I will reach out to her. It was funny. The first time I reached out to you, that was about a few months ago, and you didn't respond. I went through my good friend Polo Zika, Alfred.
Mhm.
I told him, I said,
Yes,
man, I'm
Alfred's
trying to
my
get to more. Right?
brother.
But we are happy to have you on here. Thank you so much for at least taking up your time to come and talk to us. We are Nima based, but we are trying to expand, right? And we want to bring people, national figures like yourself and other folks on here. So your appearance is not just a regular appearance; it's more of one of Nima's daughters coming on our platform and one of national figures coming on our platform to help promote us as well. So welcome to the show.
Well, thank you so much, Avi, and thank you, Junior. And I am happy to be here. Look, I can understand not responding to your initial message. I get so many messages sometimes. It's hard to keep up, but it's a
Mhm.
blessing, and I don't take it for granted. So,
Mhm.
look, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be on a platform that speaks to my people, not just my people of Nimba, but every Liberian, and hopefully we can share our little insight into what's happening around our country. And I'm looking forward to a good show. So thank you guys for having me, and Junior, congratulations again.
thank you, Council. It's a big movement, and I know
It
it
is.
couldn't have been any better than having Councilor Mariah Kula as a guest here tonight on the show. So I really appreciate you being here.
Thank
But
you.
we let's not dwell into that. Let's go to the core discussion here. Everyone knows you, so we'll not go to introduction. There have been this whole debate. Councilor Morais on Nima, but she's not involved with Nima activities. She have little or no say when it comes to Nima activities. What say you about that?
And you know, I think I will have to add to that, counselor. Even as you file a comment, folks are watching, listening tonight from Butu. I mean, everywhere Loguato. So I beg to differ. I think the old man Glai in Butu there doesn't know who Mariah is. So I think it would be a very good thing for them to hear their own daughter speaking that little series tonight, introduce her.
I guess
So
Miss Serious, I speak
that,
that English.
that's
I
the
can
over
speak
there. That's the
Kolokwa.
over
So we can put it inside the Kolokwa.
there.
No, but look, my name is Mariah Kou Dwede Yukula. I Kokbo. I am Kokbo by marriage, but Yukula by birth. So I'm from District 8. Both my father and my husband's family from District 8. I come from Wenten, which is in, of course, District 8, not very far from Ganta, right next to Kwakwa. I spent weekends and holidays and visits in Wenten growing up. And I still have a very good relationship with my people in Wenten. So if they're listening, I want to say good evening to all of you listening. And I am very, very connected to my village, to my town, my people. I have the town chief phone number on, speed dial. He calls me all the time. I go there. I have Christmas party for the kids. We've done medical outreach for the people in the town almost every year. We take people there to do very basic medical stuff. We do, gifts for the elderly, whether it's lapa for the women. So I'm very involved with my village now. I don't publicize it or put it on social media or call media people to come because it's home. That my people, when I feed my son in my house, or when I buy clothes for him, or when I do stuff for him, I don't go and tell everybody. So when I'm doing stuff for my people, I don't go and put it out there. And years ago, I even sponsored 2 persons from the town to go to the Gipo Vocational Training Institute in Gipo. And, they're very appreciative about it. So I'm very connected to my people. Now, the county as a whole, which is the larger, family, I am very connected to my county. It's one of those things where, of course, I'm in the chat rooms. I was at the superintendent's induction. We were there helping, making sure the program went well. I've been on the county league committee fundraising for the team, visiting them, making sure we're able to raise funds for them. So once it comes to Nima Kante, I'm there. That's my thing. I think a lot of people think because we didn't support the Rescue Alliance, so that means we're not involved with the county because the MDR and stuff. But the vice president and I have a good relationship. There are just certain relationships you don't make too public all the time. I mean, I'm saying it now. I call him Big Brother. We text each other. If I call him, he'll pick up. He calls me sometimes to check on me. So we have a good relationship. The superintendent and I, several leaders in the county, my brother Tao Wongbe, Honorable Musa Pelete. I mean, almost everybody in the county is in Okoga. I just saw him recently. We talk. Garrison Yelu. Just name them. So I'm a daughter of the county. I
was speaking to this person. I was speaking to this person recently, and they told me that Councillor Mariah Yakula is very much engaged when it comes to national issue discussion. But some of these national issues, before it goes to the national level, it starts from the county. In the county she hailed from, some of these things start from there. For example, the Aslamenta deal. For example, the recent audit of the past county administration, all of that. People were saying, Councillor Mariah can't talk on these things. But when it comes to Unity Party not doing well.
So I think what I'm getting from you is people want me to talk about these things.
Mm-hmm.
I maybe I should, but I'll tell you with the Asala thing. I reached out to Senator Yan Twine, and in the background, we told him whatever support we can give to help with this fight in the legislature with what you're trying to do. Let us know. So. It was about NIMBA. We reached out and, willing to help how we could. The current audit, I was at the superintendent's induction when she mentioned that she was going to do an audit, right? The audit report came out. Unfortunately, we lost the immediate past superintendent. I followed that. So it's not that I don't know what's going on or I don't follow. I'm not, in the background.
Is it because you take SAR? Is it because you take SAR in Nima County because it's your county, or you don't want to bring your county to disrepute?
But I was going to get to that, right? I feel like if your family get issue, you go and talk to family. I wouldn't. I find it very difficult to go, on social media or publicly talk against one group of my people, because we're family, we're accounted. So it will be. I mean, come on, the general government as a whole, the rescue government. I can talk about things that they're doing wrong. I can talk about that. I'm not part of it. I'm not in that cycle. I don't have relationships there to say, oh, that our party or that our government, so they could talk it inside or stuff. But when it comes to my county, where it's one family member, even with the issues around Senator Koga and the VP and stuff like that, I'm not going to go on social media and take a side. I'm sorry.
Right.
But if I have an opportunity to talk to Senator Koga or to talk to VP, I played that, that role because we're a family. And we're not always agree, of course. We don't always, and that's the other thing we need to talk about on the show. Nibayans are not people that think one way. So it's
Right.
okay for us to have different viewpoints. It's okay for us to disagree. It's okay for us to support different parties. It's okay for us to support different people for different levels of leadership. We can't always castigate. We can't always denigrate. We can't always attack people, because especially now, and I want to talk to the MDR guys and especially some of the rescue guys who keep attacking people for not supporting quote unquote the VP. I mean, we have a vice president for NEMA, great, but that doesn't mean that every single Nimbayan must support the VP. And it ends up being more of intolerance and this one NEMA agenda. The one NEMA agenda is not one person's agenda. That one NEMA agenda should not be about elevating one person. What that one NEMA agenda means is, as a people, as a county, how do we uplift each other? You don't have to come from the same party. You don't have to come from the same, whether it's MDR or UP Alliance or whatever, or CMC. You don't have to. But I'm biased when it comes to, my NEMA people and my Maryland people too. I can talk about that. But since we're, focused on the county, I'm very biased when it comes to my people. So I think I don't really get engaged in the chat room back and forth. But I think it's important that we understand, look, every Nimbayan matter. Today, somebody may be in ruling party, tomorrow they might be in opposition. We're still family. We're still Nimbayans from any district, any of the 9 districts, we're still family. So I don't subscribe to the idea that every single Nimbayan should support one person or one party. And so when some of these things are happening, we have to understand teeth and tongue can fight. In fact, the people closest to you, the people that can step, my mom used to say, if you stand near me, you can easily step on my toes. There's somebody who's standing way to the door. That's proximity, right? Your family people, family can fight. They say family tree can bend, but it can break. Families fight. So you should understand that there will be disagreements, and it's normal, it's natural, it's how we try to ensure that the county is not divided, because that's a growing theme that I see now happening. And people who don't support the Unity Party or the Alliance or the MDR or the VP are now being ostracized, are being insulted, attacked, pushed aside, acting like they're not part of the county. And that seed that we're sowing of division will cause us more damage than we would like. So for me, I'm Nibayan, quote unquote. Now nobody can question it. I am very unapologetic about it. They name me Kou Sekua for nothing. So
I'm proud one too.
I know the CEO wants to ask you a question.
And also, though, that
I
I've
got-
also served on the board of the Nima College, the Nima Community College. I served on the board for
Oh, okay.
So I've definitely been involved. And even when I worked with Mr. Cummings, we did a lot of work with the community college. He did the agricultural building, was it agricultural building, engineering building. He provided the funds for the construction of the engineering building. He did the yearbook at one time, one school. So we provided support to Nima College as well, the students and education. And I sat on the board up to when the CDC government came to power. So Nima, through and through.
Great. CEO, I beg you, let me ask a final question because so many people have been sending me a lot of things. When before you appear on the show, somebody called me and say, I beg you, and Councilor Mariah can't tell her that when she went for the president annual speech, she was sitting there using Kula Fofana power bank and still posting about the government. But when it comes to pertinent issue about the county, she can't post about it. Thank God you've made those disclaimer here tonight, and you've also talked about the issue of NIMA unity and one NIMA and all of that. I want to ask you this question. Senator Prince Yomi Johnson is dead. We can call him a major player in the NIMA politics. How would you view NIMA politics starting from today up to 2029 in the absence of Senator Prince Yomi Johnson?
Look, I think every Nimbayan can agree that the influence the late Senator Johnson had on the county is unraveled. I don't think anybody now has the same influence. And part of that is because there was deep appreciation for his role in protecting the county and people feeling like he was, the first thing you do in human rights law is they will tell you one man's rebel is another man's freedom fighter. And so for Nimbayans, the late Senator Johnson was the freedom fighter. And he protected them, especially given the history of the massacre, the Nima massacre on the former President Samuel Doe. And so when you understand the history and what the county went through, the whole Kuyangpa thing and how it led to Nimbayans being targeted. Look, I'm a lover of history. You have to know where you come from to know where you're going. And I also feel like every Liberian should really understand and know the history and read about it because it gives you a deep appreciation and love for your country. When I tell you I love Liberia, it's because I love Liberia in all its glory and all its distress and all its challenges and knowing things that have happened before and how we can avoid it from happening again is important. So that's why I read Liberian history. I love it. And so when you understand all of that happened, you will, a lot of people say, how Nimbayans gave Prince Johnson 27 years and stuff. And I say, yeah, if you only knew. And even though some of us probably were kids at the time, but history teaches us and tells us that the gratitude behind what Nimbayans felt for Senator Johnson is what led to his level of influence in the politics. And he shaped the politics. In fact, he literally influenced the outcome of every election since 2005.
Right.
You can't take that from him, right? And so now that he's gone and no one else has that level of influence and the Nimbayans don't have that level of gratitude to anyone else or that loyalty to anyone else, it definitely shapes the county politics. It is basically an open space that I think a lot of political figures are fighting to occupy. But the truth is no one person is going to be able to occupy that. And as soon as we're not going to have another Nima Godfather anytime soon. I am sorry. That's not going to happen anytime soon. Alliances will be built. People will now follow who they want, either because they believe this person can push the county forward or because they have a close relationship to this person, politics being interest. But there's not going to be one Nima Godfather that can rally the county the way Prince Johnson did. And if anything, we also have to understand the dynamics of our county with the Giyo and the Manu population, and the Giyos being the majority population. They still have a stake and a say in how the county moves. But at this point, you have to understand that no one person, right now, as we speak, has that level of influence. So there is this ongoing fight. So the whole division for Nima is really an ongoing fight for, I won't say prominence, but for control, like Senator Johnson had. And I think it's a fight in futility because it's not going to be one single person controlling the county. It's going to be divided. There are multiple persons. Senator Koka is going to have control of a part of the county. Vice President Kun is going to have control of a part of the county. Representative Musa Belete is going to have some control.
Mine too.
I was going to say, it's going to have some control. So it becomes an issue of, look, It's either we come together and work together and ensure that we keep the county together, or we're all going to exert our sphere of control and influence and decide where we'll go 2029. It's that simple, but no one person can use the kind of influence and control that Senator Johnson had. And that is a reality that everybody got to acknowledge. And I will say this, the vice president is in a better position to be that unifier because there is influence and power there with him. And if he's not very intentional about it, the people around him will cause more division than unity. The vice president doesn't speak a lot. Even when he speaks, he'll say, I don't respond to things in public. Right? And that's a sign of leadership. But when the people around you always talking and taking action and doing things, it tends to reflect on the leader and they will cause more problems. So instead of trying to fight people and castigate them and make them look like they hate the vice president, they hate the county, they hate that's not the way to go. That's not the way to go at all. I read a lot in the chat room. I don't respond. And I just feel like people are going down the wrong pathway because whether we like it or not, everybody will not agree. That's the beauty of democracy. And if you think someone's influence is needed to further pursue your political ambition, go after them. Find a way to co-opt them. Find a way to work with them. We're here when JMB said he would dance with the devil. We saw the dancing. Find a way to get people on your side, and you can do that. They say you attract more bees with something more bees with honey than vinegar. So sometimes a kind word, turns away wrath, and harsh words just. So we have to be able to bring that into our politics and the way we do politics. You can't always be attacking people who don't agree with you. That thing will not work. And for some of us, especially me, in fact, the more you're attacking them, the more we'll talk.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I've noticed that. But again, if you just joining us here tonight on the show, you're listening to the Heat Tower program. We have of us one of Liberia all-time most talked about Councilor Mariah Yakula. You can call it VAR. You can call her, the one that believe in justice and accountability. You can call whatever you want to call her. But she's on the show here tonight. We're discussing policy issue. We're discussing NIMA. We're discussing Liberia. CEO, welcome. Let's hear from you and we go to the other panelists.
Thank you. Thank you again. Congratulations to you, Mr. Lawyer. I don't know what type of lawyer you're going to be, but we are proud of you on behalf of this platform. I know the councilor also will agree with me. Going to school is not a small thing, and I heard that law is a jealous career, very, very hard to study, lots of reading, and you've done that. Going to Kigali and going to school is not a small feat. So congratulations to you. So again, Councilor, welcome to the show. I know tonight is just your debut, and we hope, and I'm pretty sure that we'll keep bugging you to come on our show in the future. Today is just an introductory part of your appearance, and we look forward to keep forcing you. Our daughter, we got our daughter up there, and we're proud of her and sister. We're proud of you. Yeah. So I have two daughters, and I pray and hope that they grow up to be, something like you. I admire the way you carry yourself, the way you do things, and that's how women are supposed to be in this world we live in now. It's not the world our mothers grew up in. Things have changed. We live in a different world now, and I tell my daughters that one of them is young. She's still small, but the older one say, hopefully she can be, someone equal to you or what you've been doing. But I got two questions, and I'm going to fold them together so the other guys can ask their question. You are involved with politics, advocacy, which I admire, and also.
Hold on 1 second, please.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so DK, our man did 18 today, and we are so proud of him. The man came to the show today, and then we have a councilor here as well. So the law thing just combined. They want to say congratulations to him. The school thing is nothing small, but the man he went through all the Rick Monroe in different man's land, and he was able to make it out. So congratulations to him. But DK, I want you to ask him that when the council come back, I will take over to ask my question.
I just told John congratulations because I think John looking at I like we owe him plenty things. So I'm just afraid to say anything probably now. Let me hold it. And let's see how next we will look at begin. We owe you, thank you for everything you continue to do. Yeah, the lawyer thing, yeah. Will you be the first lawyer coming from Butuo?
Yeah, and
Exactly.
Abuto first lawyer, so we are proud of him.
Sorry,
Buto's first
Jonathan.
lawyer.
I'm
No, that's
sorry.
okay. I was just saying that you are
I can
involved
give
with
you
it.
another 30 minutes.
Hey, okay. Then I'll ask the first question. Wait, and you answer, then I come back. So we got enough
Okay.
time over here. So I was just asking. You are advocate. You got a law, and you're involved with politics. If you were to be speaking to my daughter now, those three, I mean, really great field. What would be your favorite, and then the one that challenges you the most?
Um, uh, um, that's a tough
Right.
question.
That's a hard to. Okay, yeah, I kind of
It
figured
is a
that.
hard one because I love all three. I know you said the most.
Yeah.
Um, the most would be law.
Okay.
I love law the most because sometimes you see immediate impact. You have a case, someone comes to you for relief, and you're able to help them. And just that thank you. Sometimes it's not even about the money, but it's just that, oh, thank you, counselor, or oh my God, you really helped me. I'm really happy. That immediate um, reaction, that impact that you see you've made in the life of someone who was in distress, who was disturbed, concerned, wanted help, wanted someone to take care of the issue, and you were able to take care of it. That, for me, it's very rewarding because that's why I decided to do law in the first place. I just wanted to help people. I don't like seeing people taken advantage of. I think since I was a child, there's something in me that which made me vex and move me. I think I hate disadvantage more than anything else. Like,
Right.
don't think you can just take advantage of people, right? And so for me, that's what I love, the most with that. With those three, law, advocacy, politics.
Uh-huh.
The most challenging, politics.
Yeah, you don't have to
And
be a rocket science to know that.
you don't look, it doesn't have to be. Law is challenging too. I have to say that it will challenge you. Like, it's a jealous profession. It will challenge you, but you eventually, sometimes, like every other day or a week or something, you see some progress and you're like, okay, someone says thank you, right? Politics, you don't ever get thank you for it.
So,
And some days you're like, is this even worth it? Because when you think about it, sometimes even with the advocacy, which is another part of my work that I do that I love as well, it's almost like sometimes you don't really even have to be doing this.
mhm.
I could be focused on my law practice and make my money, sit down by myself, eat my dry. I'm okay. And one thing I know, regardless of what happens, God has blessed me. I know I won't suffer in life. That's fact. I've been able to at least um, be in a position that even if that dry rice meant my family will eat, I know I won't. So there are certain things that I don't have to do. So in the whole politics, sometimes it's like, is this even worth it? Because the people you're fighting for are the
Because
ones
I can
fighting.
be, I can be hitting you, yeah.
Are the people fighting you. So you're like, the other way. And I think what keeps me going with the politics is just how much I love Liberia. I know people talk about they love the country so much, and some of them are fly, that's scan. We know they don't. They love what the country can give them, but I'm not helped to.
That's a good man. Start distracting our guests, man. Stop putting that comment in the book.
But I really love my country, and I to the point I have a best friend. She's Nigerian, and she's my son's
Okay.
godmother, and she's become, I call honorary Liberian because she loves the food. She will eat a cassava leaf. In fact, I even taught her how to cook it. She can cook it all now by herself. She'll go to the African store and get her cassava leaf and everything, and she's learning Kolokwa. So she loves Liberia, right? But I think it's also it's a, I don't know if it's transmitted, but it's a off shore of basically how much she sees me talk about my country and everything. And so she's fascinated with Liberia as well. But I love Liberia, and what she couldn't understand I remember 2010 when I graduated from college, and I said I was going home. She's like, why do you want to go? And her mom, also rest in peace, Auntie Mercy, is like, Mariah, why would you want to go back to Africa? Why would you want to go back to Liberia? You should stay here, stay in America. And I was like, I go back Liberia, right? And I always want to be home. I would travel for school, and good for people who go and seek other opportunities and green pasture. But I don't know what kind of bug bit me or what it will always come back to Liberia. I love being home. It's very challenging. It's not the best quality of life. It's very expensive compared to other countries. Living in Liberia is especially if you want a comfortable life, it's extremely expensive. But being home, being in my country and making sure or trying as much as I can. And I remember 2010, I said I was going back home. I'm going to help Madam Sharif with the rebuilding process of our country. And I came home. So I graduated December 2010, January 2011. I packed up my thing. I came out of my dad was like, what are you doing here? Why you keep by? You're supposed to go to law school in the US. I said, I'll go to law school in Liberia. Hey, I went to law school like you. I will practice law in Liberia. I always said, I think I will make more impact in Liberia practicing law than I will make in the US where they got millions of lawyers.
Plenty, yeah.
So for me, that deep love for country, and that's why when people treat Liberia a certain way, it's almost like you're treating something close to my heart a certain way. It's like, why? And that's why look, say what you want about me. I really don't care. But one thing you will not question is my love for my country. And regardless of who is in authority or in power or who is elected, I will question you. I will hold you accountable. Because when you promise to do this for us as a people, you got to do it. That's in the that election, how they can call it. People make promises they can't keep. No.
The politics.
Political statement. No, they're not politics. It's a social contract. When you tell the people, give me leadership, I will do this, you are bound to do it. And if you don't do it for them, we're supposed to be asking you a question. Why you say you do this, you do it. You promise to do this, you do it. You know different from this other person who are there and say you condemn. That's part of what we should be doing as a people. I just had an interview today with a researcher from the US. And I have posted about it on my Facebook page, I think last week or early this week, and it's so interesting that she asked that question. She said, what do Liberians demand of their leaders? Like, what do they want from their leaders? And I said, to be honest, they don't even want much. Liberians don't even ask for much. They just won't be able to buy their little small car or be able to do their little business, their little water market, their little thing. They can take care of their children. They pay their school fees. Liberians don't ask for much. We don't. And it's a good thing, but it's also not a good thing. Because what that means is we accept very little. Yeah. Anything, mediocre things. Somebody will build something. It's like, oh, but at least mentality, We need to get rid of it because that's why our leaders are not giving us much. You have a government that takes $22 million to go be managing that road in the southeast. Now, when it rain, it can turn to mud. But last week, I saw Kenya building a highway for $29 million that's connecting Nairobi to other parts of the country for $29 million. But we spent $22 million on that road. So, and then like I said, but at least it reduced the travel time. At least we used to sleep on the road, but now we can take 14 hours. At least people will see. We know that their lifestyle has changed drastically since they got into government. Somebody that could barely afford to pay the rent, now building a mansion from a salary that we know is not commensurated with the wealth they're showing. It was at least he building a house in the community. He carried the money also.
Doing it here.
So I think, for us, it's the at least mentality that we have to carry out. So for me, I love my country. I love Liberia. I will go anywhere. I'll come out. The only country that can deport me, that the only country I can see in shape for, contrary to what a lot of people think. But
you're not U.S. citizen. You're not
no,
from Michigan.
No, I'm not. that's my other home though, Detroit. But I'm not a citizen of the U.S. But the point is, because I love my country, that's why I'm in the politics. Because we have to change Liberia. You will change Liberia through the politics. You look, your political players eventually become your leaders. The people you give who seek political office or who seek leadership, they come from the political spaces. Yes, we have leaders in the business community, we have leaders in the private sector, but the politics, that's where laws are made. That's what, legal reforms, that's where decisions are made. Those are the people who make decisions for you. And so we'll continue to hold them accountable. We'll continue to remind them of promises they made. They can call us political VAR, whatever. We will hold them accountable. They can get vexed. They can come after us. They can do whatever it is, but because it comes from a deep love of country. So just to answer your question, I know I'm very long-winded.
No, that's a good answer.
But I got into it because of how much I love my country. Because I want Liberia to change. We go to other countries to see. The people ain't get two heads. They ain't smarter than us. The leaders of other countries, they don't have two heads. They ain't get two brains. Oh, I got the same brain. Some people can be left brain or right brain, but I the same brain. And so we will continue to stay in the politics and continue to ensure that the right things are done. But the challenges in how toxic they've made this political space, which is intentional to keep people away from it, to keep good people out of it, because ain't nobody want to be insulted every time. But sometimes you just grow thick skin and say, you know what? It can't pass it on. That water on dog's back. It will not deter some of us. But not everybody can take it. Not everybody can take the public attacks. Not everybody can take the denigration. Not everybody can take the insults. Not everybody can take that. So you are literally closing up the space from good people who can provide quality leadership to the country, because a few people have made the political space very toxic. And so that's the most important challenge, But with the three, law, and then politics challenge.
When we talk about love of the country, so every time I go to Liberia, when you fly to Liberia, when you're about to land to RIA and then the pilot, whoever.
It's so depressing.
Yeah, no, I was going to the other side. It would say, we are about to start descending to RIA. For me, every time I hear that, it just changes everything for me, and that shows the love that we have for that country, regardless of how dark it is, regardless of how everything. But when you hear that we are about to descend to Monrovia, it just brings that different feeling. So to my next question, for me, I think I hope that we get you back on here, because you touch a lot of things that I really want to discuss. One that has to do with that, the NIMA oneness or NIMA unity, and then the folks that are going against or going after other people who disagree with them in NIMA County. When you speak out, they say you're against the VP. You don't want the VP to succeed. We have a lot of our brothers, who who actually myself that you had to attack me for that. But I will keep that. Hopefully, we'll get you back here next time. We can discuss that because that's a whole another topic there. But for me personally tonight is more of your experience and the inspiration that you offer to young ladies, young girls. So I don't know if you follow the honorable superintendent from our county there. She attended recently the graduation ceremony of the university there. And then they asked her, a journalist asked her, said, how do you feel to see with the folks who are graduating, the number of women or girls that are graduating are very low? And she said she was disappointed in that the numbers were just dismal, very bad. That's something cool you're saying. So imagine Mariah in other towns, in Butu, Komap, all the different towns. How many females are in school there? Our females are facing a lot of challenges. The children, smart girls, they'll go to school when they reach a place. They will make it as soon as they have one kid. That's a wrap. So I mean, they're listening to you tonight. Most people are listening to you. We have a lot of viewers tonight that are following. There are a lot of girls
I
who
share
want to
the
be.
show on my page too.
Oh, I see that. I noticed that. So we got the viewership spiked up. A lot of girls who listen to you who really want to be like Mariah. Those young kids want to be like Mariah, but they are stuck in the bandage there and they can't find a way out. What would be the message of inspiration, for their parents, their mothers, their fathers, for them to keep doing? Because not everyone will have the opportunity, because your route was different, right? Mine is different. Everyone has different, upbringing, but some girls still want to be like you, and I think they can do it. But speak to them tonight and give them some words of encouragement, right?
No, thank you for that, Ivan. And first, let me say, don't aspire to be Mariah or like Mariah or Cole.
Go.
Aspire to be more than Cole.
Okay.
And I say that with, all humility. I have worked hard. Have worked really hard. And I don't think people see much of that, but the consistency, the late nights, none of this comes easy,
Right.
And of course we've made some good decisions, we've made some bad decisions. It's not perfect. There's nobody perfect. We don't strive for perfection, but it's doable. And I actually want anyone who is inspired or motivated by me to use that inspiration and motivation to be more than me. I love when women thrive. But to every young girl who is stuck in a situation that you think there's no way out, or a parent who sees the children or child or young daughter stuck in a situation and they think there's no way out, you just have to start with the first step. The saying that every journey begins with one step, it's very true. And it doesn't have to be a big jump. It can be a baby step. But you first have to ask yourself, what do I want to be? What do I want out of my life? Is this the life that I want for myself? Because you have to want more to get more. If you're just satisfied with where you are and what you have, you're going to get stuck there for the next 10, 20, 30 years. So you have to ask yourself, and the word has become so open to everybody, whether by social media, by telephone, that you see there is more. And you should want more. If you're in a village, you should want to be able to say, I want to go to the city. I want to go to Kanta or Gompa. I want to go to Monrovia. I want to go to Los Angeles. I want to go to New York. I want to go to London. You have to be able to want more. And once you can think of it, once you can envision it, you can do it. And by doing that, okay, if I want to go to Ganta, maybe I'll go to Ganta for school. But maybe that means I have to go to the school in the town here up to 6th grade. I finish, I go Kanta 7th grade. So that first step would be, let me go back to the school in the town. It's a baby step. But that school in the town can take you to the school in Kanta. From the school in Kanta, it can take you to the college in Sanikole. From the college in Sanikole, it could take you to Cottington in Bonn or Monrovia, UL. From there, it can take you to Ghana, outside the country. But you have to start with one step. Once you think what I want to do, what I want to be, or even as a parent, what do I want my child to do or be? Do I want my child to be in a village here and start having children? Do I want my child to be in a town and start making farm and then there's nothing else? Or do I want to educate my child so that they can have a better future? It has to come from within. That's the first thing. I remember when I was in college, I always said I would go to school in America. My competition now in Liberia. I didn't know how. I knew my parents couldn't afford to send me to America for school. I knew that from the jump. But I always said I'll go to America for school. And I always said my competition, anywhere I go for school, I will compete with anybody there. And I graduated high school. I went to Cottington. My dad at the time had to sell some of his properties to send us to school. And I still said to myself, I will go to school in America.
And
I
that's
had
faith.
never traveled out of Liberia before. The whole time I grew up in Liberia, up to when I graduated from high school, I had never gotten on a plane before. I don't think a lot of people know that. I never got on a plane. I remember my uncle Wa, he had come from Maryland. And I think he came from Maryland with plane, or they used to come with plane at some point back in the day.
Small plane, yeah.
It's a small propeller plane. And he was explaining to me how the sky can look like cotton. And that image was in my head from childhood. I just knew that when you up in the plane, the sky can look like cotton. And I won't see it, right? I never went Ghana. I never went Sierra Leone. I never went to every country I've ever been to. I never went because I knew that my parents couldn't afford to send me to school in America, but I knew I would go to America for school. I knew I would go to America one day. And I was in Cottington when the principal of convent at the time, Mrs. Gray, called and said, "Oh, Mariah, the U.S. embassy called. They said that there is a conference in the U.S. for education, like educators, and they want a student's perspective on the topic. And they're supposed to select a student from Liberia because, mind you, at the time, Madame Sirleaf had just become president. So this first female president of Africa, news was all over the world. And this, I'm telling you, was 2006. And she had just got inaugurated 2005. 2006, January, she got inaugurated. Right, yeah. And so this was August. This was August 2006, like a few months. And so she said, so they're asking for students to go for an interview so they can select the student who will go to represent Liberia at the conference. And I said, but Mrs. Grant, I'm a student again. I'm in college. I graduated from convent July, and I graduated July 20th from convent, and I was in Cottington August 5th. My pa was like, "You're not staying home. You're going straight to college." And I was so mad because I'm like, "We just graduated July 20th. We can rest. I can rest for 5 years."
Obviously, no break. Or you going?
August 6th. So within 2-3 weeks after I graduated high school, in college, because when I was still in high school, we took the entrance for Cottington. And so I was on a campus vacation school. And She said, well, you're not a student anymore, but school closed. Because at that time, school had not really opened again. And the embassy specifically asked for the girls, or I think 2 girls or so from the debate team.
Okay.
And when I was in high school, I was captain of the debate team. And so they selected 2 of us from the debate team, one of my closest friends and I. And they said we had to go for an interview with other students from other schools. So I called my papa. I said, Papa, I called my mom. I said, Mom, the school call. Mrs. Rickle, she said, I come down because I was 17 when I graduated high school. I went to college when I was 17. I couldn't dare leave Cottington to come in town. I tell my mom, Papa. So I said, so I got to come in town for the interview. So she said, I'll call your papa. So I called him. He said, yeah, come. So I came down from Cottington. We went for the interview. And it was at IRC, I think. ICRC. And the lady who was representing Liberia, the educator, Sis Miriam Kekula, I think that was her name. Because she was the educator coming from Liberia, the student would have been traveling with her. And so the embassy asked her to do the interview and select the student. So it was me, it was my friend from Convent, it was another student from Len Miller, it was another student from another school, but I think it was like 4 or 5 of us. And so we go for the interview at ICRC at her office. And at the time, I think it was around Congo Town or somewhere. And we left. And my friend and I left together. So we were in the car, we get to Stella Maris, I think it was Don Bosco, Polytechnic. And then she got a call from the lady and said, well, you have to come back for another round of interview. And then right after I got done talk to her, I got a call and said, you have to come back for another round of interview. We can't decide between the 2 of you. So we got to do another round of interview.
And 2 are in the same car. I think I can sport friendship.
We're still close, very close to today. And so it was like, okay, we're coming back. So both of us went back. And she had her colleague, I think he was a Nigerian or Kenyan, but he was a foreigner, join her in that interview and say, okay, I need a second person in the interview to be able to. And look, don't worry about my time. I can give you another hour. I kind of clear my schedule.
Okay, now you're speaking my language.
Because I mean, with family, we're talking now.
Yeah,
and
it
gets interesting. So she said, I have to ask my colleague to join us because I want another person's opinion or input. And so, long story short, they did an interview and they said, we'll get back to you. So the both of us left. I went back to Cottington and I was going to vacation school. As far as I know, yeah, I won't go to America for school, but my reality was that where I was for school in Cottington, and my papa was trying his best to keep us in Cottington and struggling to pay the fees at the time, but I was there. I forget all about this interview. I came from class one day. I'm in my room, and I get a call, and it said, "Oh, Mariah, you've been selected as the student." I was like, "Wait, I'm going to America?" They say, I was like, "Oh, I'm going to America." And the reason I'm saying this is because you have to want something, and the universe will align. The things you put out into the universe, what you desire, what you want to do, things happen, things fall into place. And of course, you have to work towards it and stuff. And the reason why we're selected, I want to say that the debate team or the students from the debate team from Convent was because when we were on the debate team, we had a debate at the U.S. Embassy for World Earth Day. And we went against Jimmy Jolokon in that debate at World Earth Day, and we won that debate. And I think we made an impression on the embassy because it was hosted at the embassy. And so when they were looking for students to represent Liberia, they reached out to Convent and said, "Oh, can you send us some names, some students from your debate team?" Because they had seen that. So we didn't even think about it. It was a debate. We won a debate. We went home. We went back to school with
Without
our
even knowing.
and that was it. But our performance was stellar, and we won. And so it left an impression. So when our opportunity came from the U.S. mission to the UN for that conference, that's when I think they reached out to conference. Anyways, so this how, and I called my mom and dad. I had to come down to Monrovia, work out the process. It was a conference for 1 week, and we came to the U.S. And we first went to New York at the UN headquarters. We had a conference there, and then it took us to.
It took you to Big Apple. I mean.
Oh yeah.
the
And
first
let
day-
me tell you, to this day, I remember the lady who was the coordinator for the program at Austin. She's now very retired, Millie Myers. She still remembers the 17-year-old African student who came down and was afraid of the escalator. I was.
It reminds me of my
Imagine
mom.
it was my first time flying on the plane. It was my first time going outside of Liberia. It was my first time, of course, going to the US. It was my first time seeing an escalator. And I was looking at this thing like the stairs moving. Seriously, we're seeing movies. It happened to me, right? But thank God social media wasn't as it
Oh,
is now.
imagine if the PAR went to New York. She's afraid of
And so, but I was amazed. And they had us in Manhattan in this hotel, like I think we're on the 30th floor, 24th floor, and I was
Yeah.
looking down, and this was around September, UNGA, and so of course it was fall going to winter, the lights, I mean Christmas, it was really beautiful, and I was like, oh, America fine.
Yeah.
So we had, and then they took us to two other parts of the U.S. The Michigan, which is well, Michigan is the Midwest, and then
It's
took us
in
to
the
the South.
Midwest. Yeah.
So they wanted us to see different parts of the U.S. So at Michigan, we had a panel discussion on Wayne State University campus.
I know where you're heading with that.
Exactly. We had a panel discussion at Wayne State University's campus. And then in Tennessee, they took us to Memphis, Tennessee. We had another panel discussion at Rhodes College. Rhodes College was an all-white private
Yeah,
Presbyterian
it is.
college. And Wayne State was a public university, very diverse, with students from 60 countries around the world, in the middle of Detroit, Midtown, downtown. Huge, 6 city blocks. After my presentation at both Wayne State and Rhodes College, I remember Wayne State, the president of Wayne State at the time, I still am in touch with him, Dr. Reed. He was the first Black person at the university. He tells me that he was sitting there in the auditorium with the panel and the discussion after my presentation, because the topic was the education of girls in developing countries. So I had to speak about the challenges. I had to speak about, what it took for girls in developing countries from the Liberian perspective to access education. And I did my research. And I remember when I was leaving, my mom said, you in college, you out of college, you don't get job, you don't get, how do you call it, business card, but we'll create a business card for you. And she did a business card for me just with my name, my number, my email. And she gave it to me. She said, when you meet people, give it to them.
Give them. Wow.
And so when he came up to me, he's like, that was a very, very good presentation. And we want to thank you for your sharing your experiences and everything. But I need to ask you say you're in college in Liberia. And I said, yes, first semester, first year. Actually, it was vacation school. And he said, how would you like to study at Wayne State University?
Wow.
And I
Yeah,
looked at him like, I would be very honored. And he said, because during your presentation, I turned to the provost and told her, give that girl a scholarship.
Wow.
And I'm like, he's like, so we'll be in touch with you. So I took out my card, I give it to him.
Yeah.
I said, he has my contact. And he says, okay, sure, we'll give it to, and he gave it to the provost. We left, we went to Rhodes College. Same thing happened. This one, it wasn't immediately, it was at lunch. We're at lunch, the person at Rhodes College comes up to me and said, Mariah, great presentation. and we just wanted to find out from you, would you be interested in attending Rhodes College? And I said, yeah. But the reason I'm saying this is because I have put it out so much in my head, and I wanted to go to the US for school. And I always say I can compete with anybody, any part of the world. And that aligned. Long story short, I came back home. Wayne State reached out to offer a scholarship. And of course, I'm an alumna of Wayne State University, so I went to Wayne State. But that was from there, right? You have to want more for yourself, and you have to envision it. You have to think about it. You have to say it. You have to, and then you have to work towards it. Because sometimes you may not even be working directly towards it, but things that you do will come back full circle to pushing you in that direction. And so that's my story. So to every young girl, regardless of where you come from, I mean, I grew up in Logan Town, and Logan Town is not the most high-end community. It's a low-income community. I grew up with my mom in Logan Town. I remember there were times that I didn't even realize we were not, like, I won't say rich or wealthy, because I had food to eat, everything, clothes to wear, and I went to a good school. But the sacrifices my mom made, my parents made, I know that we struggled. But regardless of where you come from, you can do anything. And there are countless stories to that effect. Of course, we have the Josh Ria story. Of course, we have the Alex Cummings story from Point 4 to running Coca-Cola globally. We have several stories of people who came from nowhere, out of nothing, and made a life for themselves. And even in Nimba itself, we have several stories of Nimbayans who left villages and towns. My dad, he'll tell you he walked to go to school, even though sometimes I think they can exaggerate it. He said, hey, I mean, how long walk to go to school?
We used to walk, we used to wear slipper.
Our slip-off cars will be walking in the dust. But there are people who did that. Today's a counselor at law with children who are counselors at law. So you can do it. And I just want to encourage every young woman, every parent, but first envision what you want for yourself. And then take the first step towards that, and the universe will align.
Thank you so much. If you notice, I'm intentionally asking these questions because, I think it is more than politics. People expected that Mariah's coming here will be all going politics, UP. Personally, I intentionally did that. I wanted you to come here tonight and talk to our people and talk to the young people eloquently and inspire them. So folks who are following us, we want to say thank you so much for following. Voice of Tapeta is relaying, and then we also have Voice of BKS in Butu. Folks are relaying there for us, and the people are listening to you. And we'll try to replay this interview tomorrow as well after this. This is one of my best shows that I've hosted thus far. So I'll stop here. My colleagues want to ask their question. I will go to DK. DK, you can ask your question. We'll have our sister here with us tonight, and she just extended our time, So we're excited. We're excited for that. You get Kandima candidate get only 1 hour. That happening, Coke. You are muted.
You know what making me impressed? You know what making yeah, that time story I coming to. That what time was the last time Mariah banking a director out of our studio, right?
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Sister Mariah. I know was that when last, I think past month, I saw a lot of crazy things against you, and when I made comment on one of the things, somebody called me, because of your Nima Kante sister, I just told the person bye-bye. So the how society is, I don't want to even go there, because I think to me is worthless to even mention. Mariah, this discussion tonight, one of the things I'm taking from there is not like the regular Labrador discussion. Like every day we talk about the weird thing that happening. Everyday thing everybody talking about. Oh, politics, the drugs, the this, the corruption, government not doing this. When you took time and start talking about the education aspect, is one of the things that when we talk about. What can we do to improve our educational system? Right? Liberia is the only country that CIWT is from the Liberia Inland Church. CIWT and your father will open some kind of thing they call to our family church. That church will open school and start operating. Having will open anything and they attach school on it. We don't have a curriculum that is designed strictly that when they are taking tests in Nimakande, in Buto, they should be taking a tests in Bukonjile for our education system to be tailored around everything. What can we do? What are discussions that we can have within government so that Liberia education can be one of the best? I'm here, even when I was in Liberia, I always used to look for the best school for my kids. And so it's even difficult to find the best. You have to pay more. And like I said here today, one of the things I've been thinking about is okay, grandma school, her class is not here anymore. She's supposed to be going. I try at Cinco. How do I get grandma and all her siblings to go to Cinco? I don't have the means. So what can we do that if grandma is in Kakata, the same curriculum that they're teaching, the same curriculum convent and everything that it can be taught in Bangla and every part of Liberia? What are discussions we can have?
Oh, look, I really can relate to what you're saying because this wasn't such an issue back in the day, our parents' time and stuff, when government schools like Tutman High and other government schools in other counties were up to standard and were competing with private schools, putting out good students and keeping the standards. Unfortunately, we've lost that. I know the Ministry of Education is trying as much as they can to, and both governments from Ellen to we are even now. But it's a challenge, mostly because there's a lack of adequate monitoring of these things, and that oversight responsibility of the ministry. I will tell you this, and every time this happens, I'm ashamed. I used to have a cousin who used to live with us, and he was a guy. You tell him to do market list, and when you see the list, you will laugh. Because the spellings was, just, of course, And I remember he left the house and moved out on his own. And one day we were talking, and somebody, I said, I haven't seen him for a while. Where is he? And somebody said, he teaching one school. I said, what? He doing what? Yeah, he teaching one school in the community. I said, I am going to report that school to the Ministry of Education. Because what did he know to teach somebody before whole school? Then he said he teaching 4th grade. I said, what?
Imagine the students then. Oh my God! Imagine the kids.
And I said I was going to, and I remember family members called to beg me, "Hey, don't take bread from him more. Don't do it. Blah blah blah." And in hindsight, I should have insisted and done it, but I didn't. So that's something that will carry in. Is embarrassing, but that speaks to the kind of schools. I don't even think that school still operating. I think it's shut down. The kind of schools, the fact that Mr. Cummins always says garbage in, garbage out. If you have people like those teaching, what do you think they're teaching? And it's become so endemic in our society that is almost seen as norm. That even when you're speaking standard English, people say, he's speaking serious. Look, if I decide to speak serious on this show, now a lot of people are going to understand me. But we have to get to the point where we start mandating or encouraging people to speak standard English. Somebody did a post on Facebook and it was funny, and they said every time their staff from the farm or something texts them with misspelled words, they respond with the correct spelling, but because so many of their staff and workers text with misspelled word, now they're thinking whether by responding with the correct spelling, they're being seen as the one who misspelling. And it was funny because That's where we are as a society. Everybody texting you with the wrong spellings, but you responded to them with the correct spelling, and they probably gossiping about you and say, "What man?"
I'm not the way writing or I'm not the way writing or
You know what you're writing, right? But that's where we are. Comments under your Facebook page. People don't even know the difference between simple words. Journalists reading the news
right.
can enunciate and pronounce properly. We are a mediocre society. We have accepted mediocrity. We don't strive for excellence. We punish ambition. We look down on people who try to do their best. What are you trying to prove? If you're in school, somebody makes 90 and they're upset they made 90 because they thought they were going to make a 99 or 100. Their friends will tell them, "I mean, you happy you get 90,
Yeah.
what you want proof?
You want like know everything and look at it.
You want Allah, you know plenty. No kate, that you know all."
You know.
We condemn people who thrive for excellence because we all just want to be mediocre. We want to do bare minimum. And it shows in our education system. Teachers barely are certificated. You got teachers, volunteer teachers in these schools, they're not even on payroll. Sex for grades becomes an issue. How you think they're going to pay themselves? You have people telling students to buy pamphlets because they have to generate revenue.
Like
Teachers
that
being
Belgian thing that came out where the UL teacher was referring to B as Belgian, and I don't even remember that.
Exactly. If you want Belgium, you want to go Canada, you
You
want to
go
go
Canada.
because that's code word for if you want ABC, you got to pay this amount. You don't go Canada, that's small thing.
Small
Oh,
thing.
you want to go America, you know how much to pay. Those things, they've become endemic in our system. But to your question, this is not just the responsibility of the government or the Ministry of Education, even though they have a huge responsibility to play, to hold in that regard, but it's also parents' responsibility. But then again, some parents don't even know. Some parents barely look at the kids' homework, and some parents, they will help their children do the homework, the children will fail.
Imagine that.
So this is a crisis because it shows in the workplaces, it shows in the schools, it shows in the churches. People go read scriptures readings in the churches, and they can barely pronounce words. Diction, pronunciations, all of these things, we've lost it. Adverbs, adjectives, people don't even understand figures of speech. So we always ask ourselves, at the end of the day, what are we teaching? How have we allowed? We're the only society that our parents' generation are basically more educated than our generation.
All right.
And every society that grows is where the current generation is more educated than the previous generation. And education is not just getting the degrees. We may be acquiring more degrees, but either can defend it or our utterances are not aligned with the degrees we say we have. Our performances at work not aligned with the paper we say we got. So we have a crisis. Our thought process. Look, I did critical thinking in school. But I did that in college in the US. I remember it was a course, first year, critical thinking. I don't even know if we do critical thinking. People can think for themselves. I asked someone the other day, in my big age, at 37, I should really allow somebody to think for me, and they should give me information and I don't question it. You just swallow propaganda. Anything anybody tells you, you pick it or you run with it. Nothing in you asks questions. You don't sit and think about this and say, this doesn't sound right. Liberians are some of the smartest people. Some of the smartest people in the world. And I would say this, Mr. Cummings, who has worked with people from every part of the world, has consistently said Liberians are some of the smartest people he's worked with.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Are we utilizing that effectively with the level of education we're giving our people? I don't think so. You talked about a curriculum. Today you have schools, of course, that now have to augment. And I don't think the curriculum is such a problem. I think we have a good curriculum. I think it's how it's being taught or who's teaching it.
The teachers.
It's the teachers. Teachers training. Teachers training. And that's part of the problem because garbage in, garbage out. So we need to focus on teachers training. We need to focus on primary education. I think that's the foundation. Because if you don't get that foundation from nursery, kindergarten to 6th grade, you're done.
You're done. I think you get up there, you're done. Yeah.
I am sorry. If you don't get that solid foundation between nursery, you just be grasping for straws throughout your life. Nursery to 6th grade, we need to focus on primary education. We need to focus on teachers' education. And of course, the STEM education and other things. But once you give that foundation to your young kids, to that generation, you're setting them up to succeed in life. Basic math skills, language skills, phonics. Look, when you do phonics, you can pronounce any word.
Mm-hmm.
That's foundational level. Even if you've never seen the word before, just by following your phonetics, you can pronounce that word. And so, unfortunately, we're not doing that. Unfortunately, we're still lagging in that department. And it is a serious issue because it's affecting our country's productivity. It's affecting the growth and development of our country. We have lawmakers who do not even read bills that come before them and they vote for it. We have nurses who don't even know how to keep a patient's file or to be able to determine what the patients need. We have lawyers, who will write a pleading and you're reading it like, what are you trying to say? And all of these people will fall between the cracks. It's not everybody, but it's happening. But most importantly, it's affecting our labor market, it's affecting our productivity level, it's affecting our country, and there has to be an urgency around how we address the education issue, especially around that. And lastly, I would say the aspect of sending our kids to private schools, even when it's so expensive, is something we don't talk about as much. People are literally sacrificing everything they have to send their kids to good schools that has become so expensive for the average Liberian. And that just means that now education or quality education is being reserved for those who can afford or who can afford to sacrifice everything to give to their children. And that's not how it should be.
Thank you. Thank you so much. The foundation of education is very important. I'm a living witness of it. I remember my dad sent me to school. I was the first boy child for him. He sent me to ELW, a school back in the day. Very expensive. I was there till 2nd grade. I got promoted to 2nd grade before the war started. So the foundation that I got from the white people's school took me a long way. Even when we went to refugee camp, wherever we went, I had that foundation. And I agree with you. The foundation is very, very important for our young people.
And I have to add, you talked about that. So my mom, I remember this was after the war. immediately after the war, in the early 90s, my dad was behind the lines. And she was a young midwife working with Ministry of Health, but she was seconded to some NGOs, not making much. But when I first started school, I remember I used to live with my aunt on the 12th Street, and I used to go to one free school because all the kids were going to school there. And I would go there and say, I wasn't enrolled, but I was small, like 2, almost 3. And apparently they tell me I used to carry my chair and sit down there, and the teacher would say, but you're not in the school. I said, my mom will pay her money. And I wanted to go to school. So my aunt told my mom, and so when my mom got me, we moved Cardwell, and she had me in Mesurado. Listen, if I tell you how expensive Mesurado was at the time, this was early 90s, right after the war. And I remember I later realized at the time, I think it was $75 US
Plenty of money.
per semester, or something. But it was a lot of money for a young girl. I was the only child at the time who was sacrificing everything to send her child to a good school. And later on, we'll talk about it. She talked about how some of her friends used to basically not castigate, but just like taunt her, like, what are you trying to prove? You send your daughter to rich people's school, man. You young girl, but who they using one bag over and over because she deprived herself of everything. My mom didn't buy gold chain. She didn't build a house during her lifetime because she put all of that in us, her children. My mom sent me to Mesurado from nursery to 5th grade. My dad came from behind the lines around third or fourth grade. He started paying my school fees. But I was in Mesurado up to 5th grade. The foundation that I got from that school is why I was able to compete anywhere I went.
Right.
So parents, and I will make the same sacrifice for my son. Every parent may not be able to make that sacrifice, but we don't need them to if we have other options. Quality public schools that can cater to people who can afford to make those sacrifices. And that's what's important. But I will encourage every parent, focus on your child's foundation. You're not sending them to expensive school because you want them to compete with people or whatever it is. You're sending them to build them for the future.
Right.
That foundation, when you lose those years, that person will struggle throughout. They will have to do it 10 times harder than the person who had a solid foundation from nursery to 6th grade.
Thank you. You know, exciting. If you notice, we are just listening and learning. This is a really great show. We talk a lot of politics here, Mariah. Trust me, when people come, it's all politics. But tonight's show is a little different, and I'm proud of
happy
it.
about that.
I'm enjoying it. People are listening. Folks are following, and they like it. They love it. So we have Voice of Tapeta. Like I said earlier, they are relaying this show. So people in Tapeta, that whole region that they listen, there's a widely listened to show over there, and in Bututu as well. So our young girls are listening tonight. I will make sure I replay this show on our platform again a couple of times because I think it's worth replaying. People need to learn this and hear about it. So thank you so much. Sewate, over to you, your question, and then we'll try to see. I got one last political question, but
That's fine.
But Sewate, over to you.
Thank you, CEO. Good evening, Mariah.
How you doing, Zoge?
Yeah. Well, thank you. I mean, fee at home. We hope, this is your debut, so we will not drag you to the politics. I mean, your story. Yeah, your story. Like I always say, I think one of our Nima sisters said, why you always say Nima government? So where the women? So I said, no, that phrase is
That's
just
a good question. That's
yeah.
a
So
very good question to even ask about the women, especially with Nima leadership. All 9 representatives are men. That has to
We
change. When Nima
we
can tell
gotta work
people,
on that.
in fact, wow, I will come on the show just for all the talk about that. The
yeah.
Nima
So
politics and how electing women has been pulling teeth. What happened, my people? Why we can't
But
elect women?
the vice president,
All 9
pushing
districts are
down.
men.
The vice
So
president.
that's why we need all of you. You know, when we started this platform, I think a year ago, we actually need women to be here. You know, strong voices like you and the rest of the folks. You know, NIMBA is actually endowed with a lot of resources and not just the mountain, but I mean brains, like you said. You know, when you I think we are going
The
outside of politics today.
waterfall. There's a waterfall, I think around Bendin or some. Oh, that is so
Yeah,
beautiful.
bathing, yeah.
Yeah,
Bathing.
Yes.
Yeah, so you know when you were giving all of these, when you were drawing us through our setting and just looking at you, you know, we that got grandchildren, and thinking as to how the future, what it hold for them. You know, I got one like 2 questions I want you to expand on a little bit. You know, doing before the war, we had what they call civics, and you being a lawyer and I think a student of history, for me, I've been a little concerned as to why civics is now out of our curriculum. And because right now, if you even most of the cases people carry to the police station, to the court, people are not really understanding, the role of the government, the responsibility, as a citizens and all of that. So I wanted to hear from you your honest opinion. Most of these cases, you as a lawyer, from your experience, do you think, the removal of civics from our curriculum, do you think it's actually embarrassing us as a citizen?
Yes. Yes. I think it was a disservice to all of us into our country. Look, we don't have a lot of researchers in Liberia. And I would hope if we do, that someone will research the impact of taking civics out of our curriculum over the years. But even if we don't, for those of us who did civics in school, that's one of my favorite subjects.
Oh yes, sure.
You can see our thought process is completely different from those who did not do civics. You can see how we understand, and I think I talked about that earlier, the duties and responsibilities of the government
You did, yeah.
from those who did not. I mean, people tell you everything that government, that government can't do that one, that government can't do that one. In fact, people who didn't do civics will tell you why the opposition can go build road. And that one, by the time you ask me that question, I know you didn't do civics in school. The thought process is so different. Look, civics, had we kept civics in school, we would have had a different group of core leaders in the legislature.
Sure.
100%.
Would have had a different quality of laws being made. Because would have had an informed populace that would know what to look for in leaders. That would know that leadership is not about who fine, who tall, who short, who not live in a village or in a town for 50 years. It's about who can make impact, can create change to improve your life and that of your family in your country. Civics, but I would say joy in knowing that it's coming back into schools. It skipped
Yeah, I heard
entire
that.
generation, which is a disservice to them. But I'm happy that it is coming back in school. I remember we had a meeting with the previous U.S. ambassador Ambassador
McCarthy?
McCarthy,
Okay.
before he left. And he said it was one of the things that the U.S. Embassy was working with the Ministry of Education on. And I remember during that conversation at the U.S. Embassy, that's when he did that, what would Joseph General say or stuff. And the conversation came up, and it was one of the things that I asked about, you know, and unfortunately, we are where we are. Most Liberians don't know that because you pay taxes to your government building road and a favor, your government providing clean drinking water, than a favor. Your government putting LEC poles in your community to get light, than a favor. Basic services, clean running water. If you get it in your community, it's a failure. That means the government fail. It's a failure of government's responsibility to you as the citizen. Basic. I mean, you go to other countries, hey man, they like it. In fact, you're in America, they like it bad.
But you're going far. You can't take it to Ghana, right? Right across there. You go to Ghana.
It came back. I remember when I first went to the US for school, my dorm room, I was so fascinated. Look, up to the time when I had never had 24-hour electricity. For our living, my mom, we used to use candle, lantern. We didn't have generator. And then at some point, LEC came. Looking time, I remember, but it can't go. I want to move to my part. We used to use generators. So I never had 24-hour current consistently in my life before. So when I saw that current came back, I just used to do the light on. To this day, I can sleep with light on. But the point I'm raising is, why? We as a people have to demand more from our government. Our government, and not our ma and our pa and our bosses, they our employees.
That was one thing they don't know. People
They
don't know.
our workers. They came to us, they say, please get our job. Please put us in their position to work for you. We look at them and say, okay, everybody that not come to us say they won't work for us, that you will agree, can't go work for us. So that your worker, you pay them all. They're not working free. You pay them. Not only you paying them to work, their salary, you pay them. The car they used to go to the work to do for you, you paying for the car. You paying the gas for the car. When the car spoil, you fixing the car. You pay them. Then you turn around, you find money, you get in the money to do the work. I want to call it budget.
Mm-hmm.
You get the money, you say, go do the work. How you work also? Now your bosses, you, the people, you the boss. That's why they say government for the people, of the people, and by the people. When they do the work, you get a right to move in. And then I'm president and minister talking about representative, senator, all of them. Anybody like all of them, they're part of it. They're working for you. Even on your farm, when you do daily work, they hire to come fell the trees, to come plant the rest. When they're doing the work, you can move and you bring different people. That power, that you get it. The back already can bring to you. The clothes they can bring, the t-shirt they can bring, the cleaner they can bring, they're not favor. Civics will tell you your responsibility as a citizen and the duty and responsibility of your government.
And your rights.
And your rights. As a citizen, you got rights that government not even supposed to trample on. or to try to stop you from doing. But the most important thing, the
Hey,
Can you guys hear her?
no, she's stuck.
Okay, okay. So I thought it was from my end there. We apologize for
sorry,
somebody
somebody
calling.
home.
Yeah, now what they can do when they call on anyone, not spoil our show. You don't spoil our show. Our show too juicy to know. You don't spoil it. Give me your.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, we got a code tonight. We'll get your Mariah to you later on. Yeah, we know. Hopefully, our interview. But again, thanks to Voice of Tapeta for relaying this show. And great show here. You know, I like that question. CRT is something that is very important.
Before Mariah leaves, I mean, they all promised to give her Mr. Kumi anytime soon. Now my only concern now.
It's funny you say that because I
Okay, sorry.
I promise you're going to make the arrangement, but I know Mariah will
Oh,
jump
I'll
in.
work with her. We'll arrange something. But to be honest, right, that shift where we as the people who the bosses start treating our leaders like our workers, like they the bosses. Eh, we gotta change that, and that's why when you assert yourself as the boss to say we don't want to give you power, we don't want to put you in power, we don't want to say you can work for us, then you're able to question them. You're able to say, why you do the thing what you say you're going to do? Or if they can say, I spend $1 million to do the thing, you say, how you spend $1 million to do the thing? Accountability, transparency, they're not BB words for nothing. It means something. That means you owe me explanation and it must be clear. We need to ask them. Your representative having district meeting, you go there, you ask question. Your county got county setting, Nima county setting, you go there, you ask question. They're working for you. The minister and the superintendent and the president can appoint. They're working for you too. They're not working for the president. Yeah, the president can fire them, but you get the president the power that the president takes on and get to them. They're working for you. So you need to start acting like the bosses and start questioning your leaders, holding them accountable, letting them explain to you. They owe you explanation. And that's what civics does. It makes you to understand the power that you have and how you can utilize it and how you can hold your government accountable to work for you to improve this country that all of us.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
See you. I'm Donna.
Man, let me see. I'll give you.
Let me just pass you a little bit. I've been following a recent Mariah. I just wanted to bring this to your attention. Probably the general ministry and the rest of the folks who are responsible for these regulations or LTA. We also need to pay key attention to that. One thing that is important is our country image. And sometimes people take it as fun when they are watching them, on the social media. Or recently, I follow, I think they say bloggers, right? I know is that blogger or content creator, something like that. Yeah, so you will see them, on the beaches, entertainment areas, interviewing those guys. They will just put them in the middle, 3 times 2. They will just ask them some funny questions, and to even answer that, what's your nationality? They will ask some questions and then they will not answer. So I wanted to know, I don't know whether there are regulations for these people, and what's your view to that? Because some of these people, they are even some immoral things they are doing and saying that it's not really, good for, our society, because sometimes it may be just people take it as a fun. They will start to ask them on some things, even things that are happening bad and all these things. And we're talking about civic education, providing social education to our kids and all of that, going to watch these things, to me, I feel that there need to be some measures put into place. I don't know what measure or what advocacy can you people. I don't know whether you have come to your attention as well.
So I've seen some of them, but I want to disagree a bit with you, and maybe not disagreement, but give it a different viewpoint or perspective. I do think there has to be some regulations around use of social media. There are other countries that are doing it. I think the UK just banned social media for anybody under the age of, I think, 16 or something.
Yeah.
And so countries can do that. Look, social media are not for kids. Facebook has a 14-year-old. In fact, it's only supposed to be for persons 14 years and above. My son is turning 14 next month. He's not getting social media.
I saw that coming.
No, he does not have social media. He doesn't have Facebook. He doesn't have Instagram. He doesn't have. I think the only thing he does is TikTok, because his friends, and you wouldn't even know he's there, and I monitor and watch. Social media is not for kids. That's my personal parenting view. If he goes to college at 17, 18, he can get his social media page. Everything can be regulated by government.
Yeah. Parents.
So now parents got to regulate. I regulate my son's phone. His WhatsApp chat rooms, groups for his friends, whatever, I read. And it's random. So now they say bring your phone. Turn it off. I read through it. I regulate his calls. I see the calls that are coming in, which not many, probably from family, but I have that. In fact, when he gets messages, it comes to my phone. Some people say, "Oh, you're doing too much. You're doing too much." As parents, we have, especially in the social media age. Remember, our parents didn't raise us in social media age. They had telephone age. Their parents didn't have telephone age. They had writing letter age. So every generation comes with something new. So parenting got to adapt to the times. Okay. So for that aspect, I do not believe children should have social media. In fact, I've had clients who come to me and we're talking about stuff and they talk about their children on social media. And I've advised, I don't think your child should be on social media. It is a predatory ground.
It is.
Men, grown rusted men, come on social media and go in the children inbox to look for women on these babies. I don't subscribe to it. I don't think they should. That's one aspect. So on that, the content that is on there is adult content. It is not for children to consume. And that responsibility to keep children off social media is on the parents. Other countries have gone to the extent of putting laws in place to say nobody under 16 will get on social media. Liberia could do the same, but until then, it's the parents' responsibility to monitor their children's social media use. Now, the content you're talking about, some of them are vulgar, some of them are cringy, some of them are... Look, I have a more liberal view. I am big on people's rights and freedoms. As long as it is not
100%
infringing...
of what they told me was confirmed by the investigative team.
It's not infringing on the right of somebody else. People should have the right to do and say what they want. This freedom of speech, right?
Right.
Do I think as a woman or as a person, there are certain things you shouldn't say in public? Yes. I mean, what you do in the privacy of your bedroom, I don't think it's for public consumption.
Mhm.
If someone brings a microphone to your mouth and asks you a question, as a person, you should be able to say,
Yeah, they're not beating your back to say that.
I'm not answering that question. Next question. If you choose to divulge such information for content, for entertainment, adults are on, they'll watch it, they'll enjoy it, they'll entertain you, get thousands of likes and whatever it is. At the end of the day, it comes back to how are we raising our kids? The family is the core unit of society. And unfortunately, during the war, we broke that family structure apart. So there's some deficiencies there, and we're trying as a society to bring that together. There's so many broken homes, single mothers, all of that, but there are also family homes. Regardless, as Africans, as Liberians, we have a larger family that raise children, grandparents, uncles, aunts, everybody put a hand there and we raise children. So how are we raising our children? What values are we instilling in them? What sense of integrity are we giving them? What are we teaching them? Because the thing that we see in public, it comes from the home. But they say charity begins at home. So even though government has a role, but I won't solely put all of that on government and rely on government's regulation to regulate how people act or behave on social media. Now, if it borders on crimes like defamation, most of what's been happening around revenge porn or circulation of nude videos and pictures of people or lying and threatening people, like the criminal aspect of it, of course, there are laws in place, prosecute. But the social aspect that doesn't infringe on other people's rights or doesn't break laws, any laws, or doesn't, violate Facebook rules and regulations, I think people should be able to live their best life, do what they want to do, as long as it's not breaking the laws or stunning them. But in terms of the accessibility and availability of such content to children, I think that responsibility is on parents as well to ensure that they monitor and regulate the children's use of social media. And to be honest with you, if they're not 16, 17 or mature enough to be on social media, please keep them off social media. Most of the content on social media are not for children.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
It's interesting you said that about your son there. I don't know if you've seen this anywhere. The guy who owns TikTok has children, and his kids are now on TikTok.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the guy who owns TikTok. But anyway, this has been a really wonderful show. I'll be biased here. We hosted a lot of shows, but I like the way we did it today. You can bring Mariah or Cole here and then don't talk politics. We touch it a little bit, but we had never got into the NIMA politics. We never got into the national politics. But
I'll
it's
come
all-
back.
Yeah, we know you will come back.
This is home. We'll always come back.
Thank you. This is home. Like you said, this is literal. This is home, and we look forward to hosting you in the future. Like my man DK said, we've been talking to Ty. Ty is working something. Please work with Ty and try to see if you can get, your political leader here. So that will lead me to my last question, and I want you to kindly add this to your party statement, if you don't mind. In 2017, when Alexander Comey was, contesting, if you ask Ty, he will tell you I was one of the biggest fans of Comey. I used to write almost on a daily basis. I believe in him, because of our corporate background, corporate America background, I believe he was, he had everything it takes to be a really great leader. But, Liberians didn't think of it that way, and then they went the other way. Now, my question to you, what I saw during the 2017 campaign, and I think this GONE campaign as well, and I asked a lot of people about this from the ANC, is their footprint in Nimba County. What did you guys do in Nimba County that, even though PYG was there, but I kept pushing this throughout the 2017 campaign. I felt that there was more that needed to be done. Example, like what you are doing tonight, coming on a show that is, based in Nimba County, talking to our people, selling Alexander Cummings to the people in Nimba County, you know, in local dialect or from one of their daughters or their son like yourself. It was not done in 2017. I didn't follow the 2023 election, but 2017 wasn't done. What's the plan going forward for your political leader yourself for Nimba County? You know, you said something about Nimba is not going to be the same again, right? You're open. So the strategy has to also change. I'm not asking you to come up with all your strategy here and stuff, but what plans do you guys have for Nimba County?
No, like you know, I think there are plans with the party. Like you said, we didn't want to discuss all of that now. But Mr. Cummings has always had a close relationship with Nimba. Of course, the Cummings family also has a relationship with Tapita Nimba.
Yeah,
Nimba had a senator, Catherine Cummings, who was a senator of Nimba before. And so Mr. Cummings, I think his uncle has a school, or used to have a school in I think Tapita as well. So there's a relationship, and he has been very close to the people in Nimba. He has supported Nimba, education, health. I remember even before the last elections, we during COVID donated to the Ganta Medical Hospital, to Jekun Hospital, to different health centers in Nimba from the Cummings Foundation, helping the people with drugs, much needed, hospital materials and items. He's self-built the agricultural college at Nimba University. He supported, education, health. So he's really been close to the people of Nimba. And I think Nimba has been appreciative of him. Nimba has also been supportive of him. So look, I would tell anybody this. In life sometimes people you not related to can help you more than your own.
Yeah.
And I'll close on this note. Mr. Cummings may not be from Nimba, but we have to ask ourselves if he can change this country for all of us to benefit. It's better than having a family member that can change our life. Sometimes you will be in a community, they say you and your brother like minister, will you come beg me for one refer? But your brother being minister, not changing your life. How you benefiting from it when you know that somebody else who you may not even know could do something that would benefit all of us? Yes, it's true. People support people in politics because of proximity, because of relationship, because they know them. But when will we start supporting people who we know can bring the change that all want, that would benefit all of us tomorrow? If agriculture is fixed under Mr. Cummings' government, he ain't got to know you for farmers to get the implements, the seedlings, the equipment that they need for the farm. Everybody will get it. He ain't got to know you for your school to have chairs and teachers and books and chalk for students to get educated, for your children to go to school, and they get teacher there now, they go to school. No teacher today, then they got to go on the farm because everybody will benefit. He ain't got to know you personally. So sometimes the stranger, the people we know, can help us more than our own family people. So as we go into 2029, Nimba is my people that will be our So thank you for having me. Arvin, D,
It's
Zoge,
okay.
you guys, and thank you for keeping the show going. What you guys are doing is very much needed and important
Mm-hmm.
that our people continue to hear their own people voices, on the media, and to talk about the issues that affect us as a people, as a country, and as a country. And the one thing I got out of the show tonight is I think Nima people missing my voice in the Nima
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah. We get the people hear me Mariah, Cole, Mariah, but yeah, we can't hear nothing much. So I think the people they
But
really
no, but I definitely will maybe try to talk more in Nima politics. But I just really feel like we're all family, so
mm,
let me try to
to
just
try to
talk in the
be the
background.
peacemaker.
Try,
Yeah,
yeah, just kind of try to help because look, we can't be watching our dirty leaning us too.
yeah.
We can't continue to do that. But I'm here. It's interesting. I was talking to someone earlier. I said Kaudwede, two of my grandmother's names,
Mm-hmm.
called Ekwa and Mariah Dwede Sitan. So I carry that with so much pride. So
You
you
should.
know, um, somebody say, you know the meaning of Kozekwa? I say, of course I know the meaning of Kozekwa. I'm carrying my grandmother's legacy. But it's an honor. Look,
Mm,
nothing makes me happier and prouder than to beat my chest and say,
come on, Nima.
Nimake, daughter of the mountain. What you talking?
You see, that's why the people say happy said to listen to you. The people find a lot of people find it. And trust me, by
I'm a
tomorrow morning,
proud.
people will replay it. Oh yeah, Mariah on BKS last night. She was on BKS
Yeah,
last
no, I'm very proud of my heritage, of my people. Um, I carry Nimba with such pride and honor. And we're the Republic of Nimba.
night. Mm-hmm.
I'm saying we're Sicilian,
Yeah.
but the Republic within the Republic.
I want to
We
put on my
we
yo.
they gotta get used to it. We are industrious people.
But
I
yeah,
mean, Nima is the second most developed county at this point. I think it used to be Bassa, but it could be Canada.
yeah,
It's like, what happening? But Nima, every time you go Nima, the new structures going up, the sky, like huge buildings.
yeah.
Oh, love you too. Thank you.
I think
So
the
that's
Nima people like
our
you.
mindset. In fact, they said Nigerians are the Nigerians of Liberia. We want our business. We want our money. We get big mouth. So we gotta back it up,
We gotta back it up.
So
We gotta back
we
it
gotta
up.
back it up, and that's what makes us a proud people. So we have to stick together. We have to stay together. We can't let people divide us. And I will come back. We'll talk about the Nima politics. We'll talk about the
Yeah.
division, various ugly head, and how all of us can ensure that that doesn't happen. We can agree to disagree. We can all
Agree.
have different positionings, different parties, different positions, but we can't wash our dirty linens outside, and we can make our county shame because they be more. You can take it from
Yeah,
up.
you can take it. That's it. We will definitely bring you back. I'll work with you in the back. We'll try to get you to come on so we can talk. Because more, I think that Nima discussion that is very good for our people. It's good for the young people, and some people don't know. They just do it ignorantly. But I think having this discussion, open discussion, disagreeing to agree is nothing personal. Nobody hates anybody from Nima. We are all brothers and sisters. We love each other, and we'll be here for each other. But we still have to say the fact and disagree here and there. But thank you so much for coming tonight. We really appreciate your appearance. We had the Maryland people saying they're jealous. They say
Yeah,
you
I
should
saw
rap.
that.
So
The good thing about it, Maryland got the other part of my heart, but
yeah, you
yeah,
got a
Maryland,
child that
okay,
you proud
I
of.
already know.
Yeah,
Maryland we carry both, but
yeah,
Nima got a big part,
Thank you so much, Sis Mariah. I really appreciate you for coming. Thank you so
so
much, and you have a good night, okay?
Good night, guys. Everybody,
All right, thank
D, and
you.
thank you.
All right, so DK, that was it. I'm glad that we had her tonight. The discussion, I purposely or intentionally did it, went away from politics, and we're just discussing something that I believe is very important to our society, and she did extremely well. I mean, that's Mariah. You don't know, she does what she's good at what she does, and she really, I like the way she talked to the young people, the young girls in Nema County. Her story is inspirational. Her story tells it all. So if you are a young girl in Bangui or in Loguato who listen to your sis Mariah tonight, you can use that as a source of motivation. And then she said it. She said, "Don't aspire to be like her. Try to be more than her." So she's throwing the challenge out there. But we'll bring her on again in the future. She has a wealth of knowledge. I mean, we learn. I enjoy the show. I enjoy it so much, and the folks who are listening to, as you can tell, they also like that. People didn't expect her to come on tonight, and then she just came. And I know the next time we post her on our platform to say that we'll be hosting the counselor again, I know we'll even get more view than what we have. One of the largest views that we've had in a long time. But thank you so much for sticking there with me. As we always do, we stay back to have our parting comments. Hopefully, we can work with she and Ty to try to bring the political leader on here for us to talk to the Nema people, talk about all the great things that he's doing there. So, DK, over to you, your parting comment, and then we'll
thank you, Alvin. All of us like BUNs, including the onus is on the politicians, oppositions, government in waiting, current government, to tailor our discussions and everything to something meaningful. Like I said, not every day at time. When we were bringing Mariah, people thought, oh yeah, we're going fire. Oh yeah, the thing that happening around the past president. Every day, people thinking is we are here to attack or we're just here to talk about a regular thing. I have this lecturer that I attended one of my class to come and lecture. Like I was asking for the curriculum and our education system and everything. And I know having in the US here, they train people for classes. You see somebody say, "Oh, I'm a third grade teacher." They went to school, they trained there to be third grade teacher. And so this lady, it's a third grade teacher, but this lady was completing her PhD. But she's a third grade teacher. We can do that. And instead of government doing the regular thing all the time, I think it was Senator Suno last night said roads, which is good. We need roads to connect everywhere. But we have two high schools in Booyah, for example. If I were in the position now, you made a high school 3. You need at least 34 to 36 person to go and specialize. You need at least 4 person, one for science, math, physics, and chemistry, and everything, language, to teach the senior high. Do that in a high school in Glowley, in the one in Butu, have one in Dameplay. Have somebody to teach middle school, somebody to teach elementary, somebody to teach the lower level. You focus that, you specialize in all the schools in Booyah. The way our people think in our place will be different. Having more developed countries that are succeeding. When they knew that their country lacked certain things, they closed their country totally. The Cuba, they did that have all the best data, they closed their country and say, you know what? I think our major problem is we are lacking education and everything. They focus on in the next 10 to 15 years. Nobody talking politics here. Nobody talking social media here. Nobody will. If we don't want a TAI center, our country don't need to focus on it. Why are we specializing? Everybody in laboratory, everybody get knowledge about everything in laboratory. Go to the village. You know that you can invent the laboratory all the time. The moment they see you that you want to contest the election. So our people, man, have just been cater around certain things now. Oh, having our radio station, you bringing out your BKF foundation, everything. That man, I think that man want to contest. So even you want to do it genuinely, our people will even take your attention for the real thing you want to do and take everything to politics. Having there's nothing in life brother working beside politics. Take for example, who are our district. You open say election today, people will you will have more than 10% registering for that since seat. But if we say, what can we do to improve this place? Let's sit and discuss. Like our friend Aloysius is doing, he focusing a whole life. He want to achieve something. He say, I will focus on school. I even say, okay, my father lived this legacy. I want to upkeep that legacy. You know what? I will build a radio station and do the you have online platform. All the urgent need to do something. I mean, every day I said here, the Mariah was saying that the EAW economy, no combre, no people you need them small. But sending your kids to private school is expensive because you want a foundation for them. But not everybody have the opportunity. Having this story, it's just another side story. I remember, was I a year or two ago, I'm having 1 or 2 children. When I call to talk to my kids, those children will be around. Oh, yeah, your father, they will come on the phone to talk to me on the video. So one time I asked, are they in school? No. Having sometimes people need $25 that we can do drive through McDonald's and Burger King here. Some people need only $25 to send their children to school. $25.
Thank you, Chief.
My brother.
Thank you, my man. I brushed through that, dropped our story again, finish again. Charity, if you are there, we are closing out now. We'll be back tomorrow with a new show, new edition of the show. I want to say thanks to all of you for following. Thanks to Voice of Tapeta and also thanks to Voice of BKS. We really appreciate that. Again, congratulations to the host, the host enjoying tonight. The man had to cut the show short. The man finished school now, so he enjoying himself. But thanks to all of you. We are here. This is
as needed. You know, we need running with the man and congratulations to that man body. We need to call our man.
Congratulations, guys.
Okay.
So we'll be back. Congratulations to the video, and we'll be back tomorrow. Good night.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.